Okay, what's up, everybody? Good morning. All right. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Saturday edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Parish Construction and Roofing. If you need an orthopedist, you go to Brock and your roof, you call Parish. Unique physique and unique aesthetics and wellness. That's myuniqueaesthetics.com. Restored Motions, restoredmotions.com, and Bocock Brothers Premium Cigars, where now they have the executive box as well. I don't know if you could tell, but that's like the Tiger Head logo. It's pretty awesome. Anyway, all right. Game day, LSU. I didn't do it today. uh, do so many shows. Sometimes I get the wires crossed on which show I'm on. I led Morning Scone the other day as if it were locked on open. Anyway, all right. It's game day, y'all. LSU and Arkansas. Not a super juicy day, but Pelicans did fire Willie Green this morning. The story that I've had saved in drafts for LouisianaSports.net finally got to be published. It was. I'm not in any way reveling in a man losing his job and family being uprooted, things like that. It just we knew it was gonna happen. It's just a matter of when. So I'm not laughing at him being fired. I'm laughing more just about me having had that story drafted for 2 weeks and finally now getting to publish it. Anyway, LSU and Arkansas, let me know your thoughts. There's a question we'll find out here in about half an hour, about 25 minutes definitively, when LSU gets to the stadium, if it'll be Nussmeier or Van Buren today. Van Buren starts and plays the whole game. It adds a layer of intrigue to this game that would otherwise not be there for a team that's 2-7 on a 7-game losing streak and a team that's 5-4 on a 3-game losing streak with really nothing to play for. So, I've shared my feelings on it on AFR, on Locked On. I think this is, if Nussmeier is limited, which it appears after his tweak on Thursday that he is, I would start Van Buren and play him the entire game. I would use Hurley as the backup. Give Nussmeier the week off. Get a full game evaluation of Van Buren, and see how that looks against a really bad defense, right? And you could play Van Buren this entire game and still maintain his red shirt if you don't play him the next 2 games and play him in the bowl game. So you could still get him plenty of experience without burning that red shirt year. So now, if he's going to go start for you the next 3 games, that's different. Like if Nussmeier's not available the final 3 and Van Buren's going to start and play the whole thing, I feel differently about it. But otherwise, I would do my best to preserve his red shirt. But today's one of those where you could manage it like that and give Van Buren the game. So we'll find out here when the team gets to the stadium at about 9:40. I should find out at that time who's going to be starting. So I presume we'll still be on the show at that point. I'll let you know. All right. Please smash the like button if you would. Subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the page, share the post. Let's say some good mornings here. Brendan Huff, good morning. Tiger Diver, morning. Grandma Gail making moves. Still won't make the ones that are needed. Here's hoping you're singing next year media days. Yeah, so I got made a wager with John Neighbors of Locked On Razorbacks. We did our crossover episode. And John picked it 48-45 LSU. And I said, there's no shot. Like LSU's not scoring 48 points. I mean, anyway. So every year at SEC Media Days, there's one night where they do karaoke. And John's a big part of that. T-Bob used to do karaoke. Barrett Sallee was a big part of that back in the day. There's Chris Gordy. There's the karaoke group. And I've never gone. I'm not spending an evening going to watch grown men do karaoke. I'm just not. So I've literally never gone to the karaoke night. Despite the fact that they ask me to go every year and I'm like, absolutely not. Uh, so I told John I will go do karaoke with him this year. If LSU scores 48, I will go do karaoke. But if they do not, then he had this like pink Hawaiian shirt that he wore whenever I interviewed him at media days. And I said he's got to get me that shirt. I could find a picture of it, I'm sure. Oh, I could probably go to John's. Hang on. Scroll back to John's post from media days. I'm sure I'll find it. Anyway. I feel like I scrolled way too far already. All right. Anyway, I'll have to find it another time. I'll find it and post it. Oh, there it is. Wait. There he is. There it is. It's John interviewing Taylor Green. Hang on. Found it. It's that shirt. I don't even know if y'all can see it. Anyway, promise it's there. That's our bet. All right, let's keep going. Sorry, my apologies. Let's see. Morning, Matt. Hard to catch the show in the morning sometimes because of school. Happy to catch it when I can. Well, thank you for being there. Always appreciate it. Hey, Kelly. Good morning. Kyrie. Let's see. Good morning. Ty. Good morning. We had a great week. Better Saturday. Hope so, man. Hoping for a really good Saturday. If the Tigers can win, and if somehow Oklahoma can beat Alabama, I'd be all about it. Thomas, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Shabbat shalom. Aaron, good morning. The Edge of Cajun. Boot up or shut up. Let's go. Terry seemed sad when you picked LSU to lose. I think he was surprised. And I did. I picked Arkansas. I think I just don't believe LSU defensively can stop a running quarterback. I've got a 2-year sample size that suggests it. And this LSU offense can't score. So, I picked Arkansas 31-24. Hey, Bob, good morning. Have a great weekend. Let's hope the Tigers can pull an upset at home. Well, they are favored. I mean, LSU is favored 4.5, but I do like Arkansas in the game. Morning, Matt. What kind of cold plunge equipment do you have? I'm getting tired of buying ice. Yeah, you get to that point for sure. So that's whenever you make that. If you keep buying ice and doing cold shower and you're committed to it, it becomes more of a hassle. So I bought what's called a Nuvio, Nuvio chiller. The plunge pod, you can buy a plunge pod for $30-$40. I mean, those are super affordable. You just get one of the ice pods. But the chiller is the investment. Mine was about $700, but I use it literally every day. So Nuvio chiller is what I use. Willie Green's gone. Yep. Shane, good morning. Sad Willie had to be done from you got to fight to you got to go. You got to go. Willie's gone. Brad, good morning. Ever been a coach like Lane Kiffin that gets so much hype, has never won anything or made a playoff? Well, he's going to make the playoff this year. He's going to make the playoff this year. And sometimes you got to cash in when your stock is highest, and that's what it is right now for Lane. And despite his struggles as a head coach early in his career, I think the rehabilitation part of his career at Bama, then going to FAU and now Ole Miss has been pretty amazing. I mean, he's elevated Ole Miss. You could say he hasn't won anything, but he's won more at Ole Miss than they've won in 60 years at a place where it's not easy to win. So. Clayton, MVP getting the start. Don't know yet. Again, I'll find that out here in about 20 minutes from right now. I know there was a report from NACOS. The way that On3 tweeted it last night was that MVP was going to start, but the report didn't actually, if you actually click the article, like he didn't say anything differently in there than what had already been reported. That Nuss tweaked it, and they'd be probable, but they'd see. So let's see. I know most want Lane or Dan. I want Marcus Freeman, elite DC, elite recruiter, physical coaching style, young and relatable. I agree on all those things. I will remind you though, that Marcus Freeman, LSU pursued him to be the defensive coordinator in 2021. After they fired Bo Pelini. And Freeman, remember at the time, was the DC at Cincinnati, and he was choosing between LSU and Notre Dame. And ultimately, he picked Notre Dame. I think his wife had a big, heavy hand in that. I don't think he's leaving South Bend. Just an opinion. I don't know Marcus Freeman, but just a lot of the buzz around the coaching world. I don't know that Freeman's leaving there. Breaking news: Kiffin, Mississippi to Florida. Yeah, that's not actually breaking news. I do think the update that I will say that I told y'all for a while is that I do believe Lane Kiffin is LSU's number one target, and there is mutual interest, like sincere mutual interest, not just Jimmy Sexton playing both sides, trying to get the best deal. There is sincere mutual interest. Now, that's not like Kiffin may ultimately pick Florida. He may ultimately choose to stay at Ole Miss. But there are points of the conversation where it is very obvious that there are steps being taken that you wouldn't take if you weren't sincerely interested. I'll put it to you that way. So there is sincere mutual interest with LSU and Lane Kiffin. Again, that's not to say that it will materialize into him being the LSU coach. I'm getting very confident saying that he is LSU's primary target. But that doesn't mean he's going to take the job. Let's see, Kyrie, good morning. I'm only 25. For me, it's been the most frustrating LSU team to watch in my life. What about you? Oh, man. I mean, 23 was more disappointing because you had a championship offense. I mean, you had the Heisman Trophy winner and you lost 3 games. If you even had a competent defense, you're a playoff team in a 4-team playoff era, and you might win a championship. This one just wasn't as good as we thought. Scheme wasn't as good. Your offensive line was. I mean, we talked about the offensive line forever. I just didn't think it was going to be this bad, and it's caused a domino effect that's impacted everything you do. Aaron, good morning. Yeah. I saw that's actually been in the works for a little while now with James Franklin going to Virginia Tech. Saw that report. So we'll see when it's done. It's never done till it's done. We'll see. It's too early. Big Will, good morning. Christian, morning, Matt. What's with Louisiana High School playoffs, select, non-select? Yeah. To break it down easily, when that was a decade ago or so, the public schools basically decided that the private schools had an unfair advantage. So the public schools broke apart. And so then you have select and non-select. It's basically public school playoffs and private school playoffs. It's awful and stupid and nonsensical, especially when you look historically, the number of public schools that win state championships compared to private schools, but whatever. It was basically a John Curtis Evangel problem. And because of those two schools dominating for as long as they did, the principals just upset the entire system. It's very stupid. Let's see. Happy Nuss isn't starting this game because if he went out and didn't look good, I fear the crowd would have booed him for senior night, and that'd be terrible. What up, Skip? Good morning. Kyrie, not going to rag on the obvious issue last weekend. I have to mention our punter. He's been very bad the last few games. Losing field position battles tribute to our struggles. Man, you're late to tailgating. I guess with the issues LSU's had, I haven't paid much attention to the punter. Morning, Matt. Pray for a great day. Beautiful weather. Hope we have more points than penalties in this game, unlike last game. 9 points. 9 points, 10 penalties. Came across a video, Drew tried bacon. Did I almost cry? Maybe. Saw someone comment, is it coincidence or fate? That it's Arkansas week, yeah. So I did post a video this week. Drew was over at Abilities, and y'all know he's tube fed. I mean, I've told y'all that for years. I mean, you'll see him with his backpack on and everything. And so one of the things he does at Abilities, which is where he goes for therapy, he goes for speech, feeding, OT, PT. He does a lot of therapy there. And Margaret Reed has worked with him literally since, I mean, when Drew came home from the hospital, I mean, that first week he was home, Margaret started working with him. She's worked with him his whole life. She used to come in home because Drew, when he was a baby, was so compromised physically that we couldn't bring him a lot of places. I mean, any type of infection, so it could have been fatal. So we couldn't bring him to Abilities, so she would come to our house and do the sessions. For the first year of his life, she came to our house and did his sessions there. You know, she'd mask and glove and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, so she works on feeding with him, like a lot of different textures and chewing and tastes and all different types of stuff. So this week they tried bacon for the first time. And she'll send me and Erica videos, and I posted one of the videos. It was great. Let's see. Roll Tide 99. If Alabama wins this afternoon, do they make the playoffs barring anything crazy? Yeah, they would be. They'd get to 9-1. They have. They have their layup next week, which means they could lose to Auburn and still make it at 10-2. I mean, which I guess there's a way that if you have two bad losses, I mean, Florida State and Auburn would be bad losses. That I guess if Vanderbilt, for example, got to 10-2, or Oklahoma, who got, you're talking about Oklahoma would have to win today and beat Alabama. So Alabama's got Eastern Illinois next week. So, and then Auburn. I think Bama's risk is if they lose today to Oklahoma and then lose the Iron Bowl and go 9-3, or if they lose today or lose the Iron Bowl and then lose the SEC championship game for a third loss, that's where they would be in jeopardy. Will was scrolling through games on the ESPN app this morning. Said, where the heck is the LSU? Out of the norm, had to only show the top 25. Yeah. Hey, Michael, good morning. Bubba, good morning. If Penn State hired BK, that'd be laughable. You fired a guy, the same reputation, can win the big games. I know you said they only reached out, nothing serious yet. Yeah, so I think the thing that's important to remember is when I've mentioned this a few times, I'll say it. I've mentioned from the standpoint of LSU hiring, but think of it this way as well. When you talk to an agent, you're talking basically to every coach on that agent's roster. And so Trace Armstrong has a lot of big name clients, of one of whom is Brian Kelly. So, Penn State naturally is going to be talking to Trace Armstrong about a lot of his clients. And so Brian Kelly could certainly come up, even if just very casual. The one that I think would be more interesting than Penn State is Michigan State, if that comes open. I think if Michigan State fires Jonathan Smith, Brian Kelly, if he wants to coach again, could be a candidate there. I think that's interesting. LSU's 3 head coaches, Tennessee, Alexander State at Tennessee. I don't know what that means. Morning, Matt. Met Ryan's brother, Austin Terrio, this past week. Good dude. Nice guy, of course, talked about you. Austin was a Pluckers Trivia regular 10, 12 years ago when I used to host Pluckers Trivia on Tuesday nights. So, yeah, I know Austin well. Known him a long time. Great. They're all great people, man. Terriers are awesome. 35-17? I hope so, Ron. LSU head job, Tennessee, Missouri. Oh, you're talking about Josh Heupel, Eli Drinkwitz, Kenny Dillingham. Maybe. I haven't heard Heupel mentioned at all, by the way, for whatever that's worth. Have to have more than one deep ball this game, unlike last game, which you only took one deep shot to trade as. Call max protect, send Chris down the field. He's a walking PI. That's the point, man. Like, all the conversation about Nuss or Van Buren, they threw one ball last week. I mean, we talked about this in the PFF grades from last week. They took one shot downfield beyond 20 yards. And Nuss Martha. So Van Buren in the whole second half didn't throw one pass that went 20 yards in the air. It's scheme. Like it's scheme. It's the inability to protect. It's all those things. Good morning. Hey, Shane. Come on, Matt. Some of the best drunken nights and worst mistakes have happened on karaoke. Oh, jeez. I'm behind on comments. I got to catch up. Brandy, is Tiger football better or worse since BK took over? Well, I mean, you had a losing record combined in consecutive years in 20 and 21. You were wrought with scandal, the Title IX stuff. Your roster was depleted. So you're in a better spot. The reason I hesitate is because of the $54 million, because that is going to compromise your ability to invest in what's next. So, how they rectify the $54 million will be interesting. If they agree to a settlement, buyout, and how all that plays itself out. But I'd say better. Jesse, good morning. I guess when Gale sells the Saints, we'll get an owner to clean house and win again. Hey, Robbie, good morning. Thoughts on the Colts? Quarterback Daniel Jones, surprising turnaround. Do you see the Colts in the Super Bowl? I don't. I think it's been impressive, but I think one of the lessons that we've learned when you look at Daniel Jones, Mac Jones, Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, coaches or quarterbacks that were cast aside, there were early draft picks that were cast aside too early, making good in their next stop. Sometimes it just takes guys time to develop. But the thing with the Colts is this: look at their wins. Their best win is the Broncos, but they beat the Dolphins, who stink, the Broncos, Titans stink. They lost to the Rams, the Raiders, who stink, Cardinals, who stink, Chargers, who were in a weird tailspin at the time they played them, Titans again, who stink. They lost to the Steelers, and they beat the Falcons, who stink. So they haven't. The 8-2 record is impressive. Look at what's coming up. They're at the Chiefs. That's a tough game. They play the Texans at home. They should win. At the Jaguars, at the Seahawks, 49ers, then Jaguars, Texans. So more, let's see how they do against the better teams moving forward with context of what you said, which is if they could be a Super Bowl team. Morning, Matt. How long do you cold plunge for? What temperature? Yeah, so the science shows 50 degrees, minimum 3 minutes, maximum 6 minutes. So I go 50 degrees, 6 minutes is what I do. There's no science that shows going colder than 50 degrees actually, or longer than 6 minutes actually benefits you. Hey, John, good morning. Kyrie, last comment. Let's see. No more Willie Green. I know. Get Mike Malone. Beg you do, Mars. Yeah, I would take a championship winning coach. I'd take that. Hey, Robbie, you see Rattler with the Saints in 2026? Yes, I think he'll be on the roster. Sure, yeah. Jeffrey, good morning. Make Drew some bacon this morning. His life seemed changed when he had bacon the other day. His little face was hilarious. Current mood of the LSU players. Yeah, John, like that's where I'll give, and I've been asked that a bunch, and it's a good question to ask, but I've been asked that a bunch. And it's hard for us to recognize because like we exist on the periphery. Like we don't have to go get ready to play a game that week. Um, so when you look at the players, they are very much insulated from a lot of our conversation. Uh-oh, there's trouble. um, and I think Frank deserves a lot of credit. You know, they Frank has a relationship with all those players from recruiting all of them as a recruiting coordinator, and they haven't had any opt-outs. And their vibe and attitude has been good since he took over through the bye week. They played really hard against Bama. There's not a good offense. Man, defense played great against Bama. You know, I think all that has been good. You know, the mood and the vibe and all that has been good internally. HD, good morning. Let's see, LSU scoring 30 in this game. I'm willing to bet that. I hope so. I mean, Arkansas is atrocious, but Auburn scored 24, 27 against them. Ron, LSU will win this game. You should not be an LSU fan. Okay. Ron, I could be an LSU fan. My job is to give you honest opinions. My honest opinion is LSU's defense isn't going to stop a running quarterback because I got a 2-year sample size to show you that. No, listen, if you just want people to tell you LSU is going to win every game, there's places you can go find content where people just tell you LSU is going to win every game. They'll tell you what you want to hear. Go find it. Hey, Rick, greatest practical joke would be if a national reporter tweeted that Saban was the new Auburn coach, the entire Bama fan base would lose their minds. Do it like on April Fools. Morning's going. Nothing like sitting in the deer stand with Locked on LSU or AFR playing on my ear. Love that, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Yeah, if y'all have not subscribed to Locked on LSU, I'd appreciate it greatly. I tell you all the time, I know a lot of people love to watch it on YouTube, and that's awesome. Thank you. But even if you do watch Locked on YouTube, if you would subscribe on your favorite podcast app, that would be a major help to me. If you would subscribe on the audio side. It's weird to explain, but like the CPMs, which is a cost per thousand, that's kind of how the advertising works and all that sort of stuff and how we get paid. It's much higher on the audio side. So even if you prefer to watch, it's cool. If you would still just subscribe to the pod on audio, that would be a huge help. I got this update from Dabo on Nuss.
Questions? Walker Parks, is he? Oh, he'd be all right. He'd be all right. He'd be good to go. He didn't go today.
It'll live on forever, man. It'll live on forever.
Parish Construction and Roofing. At Parish, we've got you covered. From the top of your roof, all the way down. Parish Construction and Roofing. Parish built. Parish built. Parish built. From your hometown. ParishBuilt.com.
All right, Parish Construction and Roofing. Appreciate y'all for being there. Let's go, Drew. So your IG post eating a piece of bacon for the first time. Love it. Thank you, man. That was great. It was a great moment to see. You got some that they sent last week of eating little pieces of cucumber too. So I'll start sharing some more of those. I don't always put out a ton of that stuff, but people do enjoy seeing Drew, and most people are very kind. And I'm very appreciative for that. Yeah, if we miss on Lane, who's the next target? That's the answer I haven't been able to get, Tiger Diver. And I'm sure they have a plan, B, C, D. But the thing that I'm just certain of, and it's not a smoke screen, is that there is sincere interest on both sides from LSU and Kiffin in LSU. But I also believe that Lane Kiffin's interested in Florida. And I believe he loves Ole Miss and could end up staying there. But I certainly think that LSU is working to hire Lane Kiffin as their primary option. And he's going to have a decision to make. Does he stay at Ole Miss? Does he take the LSU job? Does he take the Florida job? And I think I think it's one of those three for Kiffin next year. But if he wants to jump, I don't know that his stock will ever be higher than it is right now. So thank God YouTube TV and Disney reached a deal. Oh, good. That's great, man. That's fantastic. Happy for all the YouTube TV subscribers. I'm not one of them, but happy for everybody to get to watch your games. Eric Morris from UNT would be a sneaky good hire. Haven't heard that name mentioned at all. Good morning, Matt. Congrats to joining the first piece of bacon. Beautiful to see. Thanks, Austin. Appreciate it, man. Morning Scone. No cursing on Morning Scone. Heard he's going to take the UF. The Florida people are convinced that Kiffin is taking the Florida job. They believe like that's a done deal. And Lane's wife, who they've reconciled, she's from there. Her dad played quarterback there. She's from there. So that's one of the reasons a lot of people see that link. But it's interesting that both LSU and Florida were open 4 years ago, and neither interviewed Kiffin, and now both are fighting for him this go round, which will be interesting. But and again, I am not saying, I want to be very clear. I am not saying that Lane Kiffin's going to be the next LSU coach. I'm saying LSU is pursuing him as their top target, and there is mutual interest. Florida is also pursuing him, and there is mutual interest. And I believe he wants to. He also really enjoys Ole Miss. So I don't know what he's going to do. But if you want to call it a report from me, whatever, is that LSU is pursuing Lane Kiffin, and there is mutual interest. Spoken to T-Bob lately. Seems like he's loving Bar. So I haven't, man. I texted him. I don't know, not maybe a few weeks ago, but especially during the season, it's just hard, Terrebonne wins an OT. All right, Terrebonne. Arkansas 32, LSU 20. I mean, I picked a 31-24, so our scores aren't that far apart. Your Mike Oresco video came across my feed the other day. Mike. I need to go back and watch that one again. I agree LSU should stay away from drink. Missouri schedules 4 rental wins, beats bottom feeders of the league, wins a bowl game, they end up 9-4, 10-3, don't fall for it. Yeah, I don't think Eli Drinkwitz is a bad coach. I certainly wouldn't spend the money it would take to get him. Hey, Club, good morning. Tommy, top 5 candidates for head coach. Dan Lanning, Marcus Freeman, Lane Kiffin, John Summerall, Kenny Dillingham. It's all about the Razorbacks. Tigers going nowhere. I don't know if you're an Arkansas fan, but like Arkansas is 2-7. They've lost 7 straight games. Tony, good morning. Let's see. I get what you said about I'm waiting on the update for Nussmeier Van Buren. Sorry. I get what you said about Ole Miss. I feel that'd be reactionary considering Ole Miss never stepped to the championship. I mean, I understand what you're saying. And what he's referring to is no, it's probably on there. Anyway, so Sorry, y'all. I'm trying to get the answer on Van Buren or Nussmeier for the game today. The thing about Kiffin and Ole Miss is, the more this thing goes, I think the Ole Miss folks are getting antsy, and I get the sense they are, and I've said this on AFR earlier this week, that Ole Miss, would not let him coach in the playoff if he's taking another job. And so I understand your point. It's like, well, this is our best chance to win, and since the 1960s, and that's true. But I think you've also got to decide, like, what do you want to be as a program? Are you really going to let a coach leaving you for another in-conference opponent coach your team in the playoff? I mean, there's just no way. Like, can you imagine Lane Kiffin wearing Ole Miss stuff, coaching your team in the playoff, and all throughout the broadcast they're talking about his new team? And is he recruiting your current players to his new team? And he's recruiting for his new team while coaching your team? There's just, I mean, I get what you're saying. I do. There's just no way that would happen. Matt Red, Paul Skeens told close friends he would love to play with the Yankees. I don't see the Pirates trading him. They should, since they suck. Yeah, and then Skeens, so that was someone put that on social, and then Skeens denied it, said he's just concerned with winning. I have no doubt that Paul Skeens, like I've talked plenty about this with Terrio, who talks to Skeens all the time, that like Skeens wants to win. I mean, it's, the awards are nice and all that stuff, but he wants to win. And Pittsburgh is awful. And so it may get to that, but he's also under team control through 2029. So it's not anytime close. So by the way, this is Eric or Clint. Yeah, I just I just sort of referenced that. I mean, it's exactly what I just said. There's just no way that in the big picture perspective, they would let him continue to coach their team while working for another program in their conference. I mean, you and I have a certain perspective of Ole Miss, which is to say they're lesser than. Ole Miss has a higher perspective of themselves, and at some point, if you want to elevate, you've got to embrace that. What you think you are and what you want to be. I mean, Ole Miss has beaten LSU 2 of the last 3 times. They've won more games in the SEC than any other school other than Bama and Georgia over the last 5 years. I mean, you get it. Let's see, what do you think of a guy like Mike Shanahan at Indiana? He's fielded top 20 offense the last 4 years. Not a name I've heard. Breakout game for Harlan Berry. 175, 2 tuds. I'm here for it. I don't believe that will happen at all, but I'm here for it. Craig, what up, man? Or Jim Haslett's getting a look from LSU. Matt's possible by any LSU Lady of the Lake here. I don't think so. I don't think they sell it. I mean, all the merch they have is like they buy the merch and get it embroidered with their logo. So I don't think they sell any of that stuff. But that quarters I bet on yesterday was fire. They've really done a great job with their merch. I mean, I like this hat too. This logo is cool that they do. I mean, I know they can't sell. Like if you put the LSU logo on something, you can't sell it. Like we have like ESPN and LouisianaSports.net stuff with the LSU Tigerhead logo on it, which we can use as an official partner, but you can't sell that though. Can you hook Flynn with restored motions? He's got a back and suffered through OTB. Oh gosh, yeah, I'll gladly do that. I didn't know that. Man, come on. Like, Morning Scone, we do no cursing, please. Sorry, my apologies to those that saw that. Morning, Matt. Actually, that's like the 3rd time that guy's done that, and he's not going to be part of the show anymore. Morning, Scone. Always start my mornings with Locked On and AFR. Do you think scheme upstairs or experience on the field is a bigger drawback of the offense? Well, thank you, first of all. I think the biggest thing, I think good players and execution can overcome scheme. When you have young players that don't play well and bad scheme, that's what you have this year. So I think it starts with your youth and poor play on the offensive line that is exacerbated bad scheme. You think Chicago Jordan 1s? Oh, did you get the Chicago Jordan 1s, Matt? I got mine going for Travis Scott Slater. Did not. Well, nobody talks about how bad Mickey was before Peyton as well. It's a good point. I mean, the end of the Hazellade era. Right, Amanda Gidry, good morning. Let's see, running both franchises based on inner circle vibes of why Willie Green still had a job. It's true. Jeffrey, guess we know why you keep saying the defense is getting better of the offense in preseason camp. They were. You know, but I think we looked at it like, you know, it's always the tough part when you're watching your team, you know, like a good on good practice, because it's right. If the defense is good, does it mean the defense is good or is the offense bad? Right. And if the offense is winning, it means the offense good or the defense bad. Like go back to 2023. If I showed you my notes from fall camp in 23, the offense, like the defense could, the defensive backs could like never got a stop. I mean, a ball never hit the ground. Well, you look back and you go, okay, well, that was Jaden and Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas and Kyron Lacey, and they were the number one offense in the country, and LSU's defense was atrocious. So it makes sense, right? And so this year in fall camp, you go back and look at the notes, it was like when they were doing one-on-ones, the LSU offensive line would win reps one-on-one. When they go team, it was like this purple wave just overwhelming the offensive line every play. And you're like, okay, well, that holds. Morning, Matt. Big Ole Miss fan. I love your work. You're great at what you do. Who dat? Thank you. Appreciate it. Very kind. And all are welcome, man. Glad to have the Ole Miss folks here and everybody. When will Verge get his official contract? He hasn't signed yet, right? Hopefully he'll continue being AD after the shuffle of staff. People, Andrew Lex. Any contract would have to be approved by the Board of Supervisors. So I think the next meeting is in December. And that's when I think they're supposed to vote on the next phase of the arena as well. December 11th. So December 11th is the next Board of Supervisors meeting. So they had the meeting November 4th where they confirmed Wade Roos. And so the next one is December the 11th. So I would assume December 11th is when Verge's contract would come before the board. Hey, Ryan, good morning. Let's see. If Denbrock stayed, we'd rank at the top 10 this year. That's tough to say that you'd be top 10. Because I think you'd still have some of these sincere issues with the offensive line. I think with better scheme, you can compensate for that deficiency, but how much, I don't know. I don't know that I would say top 10. Thoughts on Lincoln Riley? Yeah, I mean, obviously a really good offensive coach. They got a big opportunity today against Iowa. If SC wins out, they're going to be in the playoff. So if SC's in the playoff, it's hard for me to imagine Lincoln Riley leaving, but it's hard for me to imagine him leaving anyway. What? Whoops. I love you. Whoops. Let's see. Anyone else find the Tigers game experience to be more of a rock, rap concert, social media fest than football game now? Music takes the crowd and the band out of it. I can't speak to it. Haven't been to a game in Tiger Stadium since 2017. So that always surprises people when I tell them that. But I can't speak to that. some of the podcast apps. Yeah, Apple, Spotify. I mean, if you have an iPhone, you have iTunes, that little purple iTunes, Apple Podcast logo. It just, if you go in there and search Locked on LSU and subscribe, that'd be a huge help. Or Spotify. Those are the two most popular. Hey, Robert. Morning, Matt. Really don't know what to think of this game. Still haven't seen them touch the idea of 30 points. Worries me. Outside of that, I don't think Kiffin or Saban comes concerned. Yeah, Arkansas's defense is atrocious, but LSU struggled offensively to move the ball. I'll tell you what I do like about LSU offensively in this game is your athletes on the outside, because Arkansas in the secondary is so bad that do you remember? Let me give you an example. Do you remember the Vanderbilt game, the play when Xavion caught the little, like, Nuss evaded pressure, just dumped it off to Xavion in the flat, and he made a guy miss, went 62 yards. Like, that was an example of LSU's skill guys are just way better than Vanderbilt's secondary, which is true. Vanderbilt's scheme's really good, but they were not talented in the secondary. That's this game. Arkansas in the secondary, their athletes are not good enough to roll with LSU, with LSU skill guys. So it's really a matter of just getting them the ball, and they will break big plays because Arkansas is terrible. The flip side that concerns me is I don't think LSU can stop Taylor Green from running. And they score a ton. So, see. Let's go, man. LSU's got to win this game today, man. I mean, I'm honest. I picked Arkansas to win it. But, man, got to win this game. Yeah, again, the Lane to Florida thing, that's if you're listening to Florida people. And Florida people think there's no way that Lane would turn them down. And I'm telling you, the interest with Lane and LSU is sincere and mutual, and that's not going to be done before the end of the regular season. Either way. Timetable for a new coach. I mean, ideally, you play Oklahoma, and Sunday or Monday after that game, you hire your new coach. Things get complicated if you're pursuing someone that makes the playoff. We talked about Lane. I do not believe that Ole Miss will let Lane Kiffin coach in the playoff. If he's leaving. So if that's the case, then you play Oklahoma, and if you hire Lane Kiffin, you hire him in the next 48 hours after that game. If it's not Lane Kiffin and you're pursuing a coach that's not in the playoff, potentially John Summerall, Kenny Dillingham, Clark Lee, whoever, maybe Joe Brady from the NFL, you could still announce them right there at the beginning of December, which I think is the target, because you'd love to have that in place before the December signing period and obviously before the January portal period. Matt, you ever hear from Hawthorne or Holtberg? No. Morning, Matt from Florida. Did Frank Wilson keep his promise, go check in with the fans last night? He did. If you go check out LSU football social media, there were photos of Frank with tailgaters around the stadium last night. Florida Insider Stadium, St. Lane's coming. Again, like, that's the word out of Florida is they believe that he's taking that job, and I think you can understand that I'm hesitating. There's just some stuff that I'm not at liberty to say that I won't say, but the LSU interest is mutual and sincere. And it is not a done deal that he's going to Florida. Morning, Matt. I don't understand the hype of Joe Brady. He would be at the bottom of my list. I don't know that it's necessarily a ton of hype, but I think, and by the way, I think Joe Brady is more likely, I've said this from the beginning, I think it's more likely he's an NFL head coach next year than back in college at LSU. But there's the connection to LSU from 2019, of course. And I think Joe Brady has become a very good offensive play caller during his time in Buffalo, an offensive mind, which he was not here or at Carolina. You think the governor's involvement hurts getting a coach? Well, look, I've told you you've got sincere and mutual interest from Kiffin, so not really. It was an ugly public display and everything, and you ain't getting Kiffin for cheap. I think the benefit that LSU had is they've had a month, right? Or they will have had a month from that to when they hire a coach to get their leadership in place, to work out Kelly's buyout, all that. Like if all of that had happened after the Oklahoma game and you were trying to hire a coach in a week, then it would have been far more complicated. Hey, Steven, good morning. Really believe they would pick Florida over at LSU? Maybe. Hey, Scott, good morning, Summerall. I very much like John Summerall. If LSU ends up with John Summerall as their head coach, I would be really pumped about that. I keep hearing that same old guard scuttle that's like you can't hire the Tulane coach, which is short-sighted and stupid, but I would really like it if they hired John Summerall. If Michael Van Buren does well, can we get a Van Buren boys shirt? Sure. We do that anyway. Matt, with the way Kiffin has changed his life, does he now fit Louisiana? Whoops. Yeah, I think Lane is Lane. I think he is, for all funny like that he is on social media, talking to a lot of people that know him and have covered him at Ole Miss, that he's sort of a socially awkward guy. He doesn't do the fundraisers and the glad handing with the boosters. I was told he actually doesn't even like to shake hands. I don't know if it's a germaphobe thing, but he doesn't like physically to touch and shake people's hands. I think none of that matters if you win. Like that's the thing about Kelly. Like what? You gonna go to Keith and Danane's house with Erica? Where's your backpack? What's the mom gonna put on your backpack? No. What? Daddy's lap, Erica? All right. Okay. Well, what's your need? What do you want to say to Dad Show? Hi, Dad Show, Erica. You want to wear Daddy's hat? Daddy's hat? Daddy's hat, Erica? I love you. I love you. You go to New St. Lillian on Monday, not today. Today's Saturday, silly. You don't go there on Saturday. You can wear your backpack, and then later you can go to Keith and Danane's house with Mommy and go watch football. Who plays football today? The Tiger. Who's going to win today? Who's going to win? Who's going to win? LSU Tigers. You heard it. LSU Tigers are going to win. We'll go Keith and Danane's house, Erica. All right. Babe? Erica? Please smash the like button if you would subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the page, share the post. Shout out as always to our sponsors. We've got Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. You need an orthopedist. Remember, nights, holidays, our after hours clinic is open, nights and weekends. Parish Construction Roofing, we'd love to help you out with that free, no obligation roofing inspection. Great time of year to get that roof inspection. We also do soft washes as well. So maybe before the holidays, love to help you out. We can do a soft wash for your roof, the entire exterior of your home, as a matter of fact. Front of your home, your hardscape, all of it. Unique Physique. Remember, also Unique Aesthetics and Wellness. $8 unit Botox. That is not a special. That's not an introductory price. That's not a limited time offer. That is an everyday offer. $8 unit Botox at Unique Aesthetics and Wellness. And then also Restored Motions, restoredmotions.com. And Bocock Brothers, premium cigars. Use code MAT15, MAT15, MAT15 for 15% off your order. Morning, Scone. Your show's the best LSU information. Love the honest opinions and insights. Thank you. That's very kind, man. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. Hey, Jeremy, Kelvin Shepard, get coordinators, keep some staff locked down, Louisiana, period. You're saying Kelvin Shepard, head coach, hire some coordinators. Shep would take the head coaching job. Shep, do not believe Shep would come to be the defensive coordinator. He would come as the head coach, but do not believe he would leave Detroit for the DC job at LSU. It'd be good to go. Yeah, he didn't go today. The no follow-up. Looks like Frank made his rounds. He did. Yeah, keeping Frank on staff, if you want to keep the recruiting class together, feels like almost a must. Chris, good morning. Stu, when it comes to personal budgets, how do schools manage making room for potential recruit flips at Slate? Talking top-tier guys in places like LSU. So you're talking about like Van Buren starting. All right, I got to go, y'all, because I have to go write this for the website. But y'all heard it first. Van Buren starting. All right, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, all that stuff. I got to go. Go Tigers. Peace.